So here's a recipe that nearly burnt my kitchen down and landed 12 hunky firemen and policemen in my house, along with one burnt taco. So now let's rewind just a little bit. What I was holding up there was a burnt cheese taco. Now I wasn't making tacos with cheese on top of it. I was literally making taco shells out of cheese. Simply cheese. Now this all started out because a friend of mine needed to cut out carbohydrates from her diet, but she loved her Mexican food. So I decided, let's just make a taco out of cheese. And ever since August the 15th, 2017, this recipe has been known as Firefighter cheese tacos. Now before I tell you how I almost burned my kitchen down, let's just start with the taco filling first. I've got some oil heated up here and I'm just gonna pour in some chopped garlic and onion. Now I want to saute that till it becomes soft and fragrant. Now to that, I'm gonna add some ground cumin and ground coriander for that lovely flavor. And some chili powder as well. Now if you don't want it spicy, you can totally leave this out. Okay. And then some salt and pepper. Stir that about for a couple of seconds and then you can add in your beef mince. I'm using beef today, but honestly you can use chicken, turkey, pork, whatever you fancy. You can use mushrooms and tofu if you want to make it vegetarian as well. And then just constantly mix it about. You want to break up all the pieces so it doesn't clump up. So now most of the beef has cooked. We now pour in our tomato sauce. Now we just let it simmer for a while, but remember you gotta season at every layer. So I'm just gonna add in some more salt and pepper here. I'm gonna lower the heat and let that simmer till most of the liquid has absorbed away so you get a nice, thick, gloopy meat filling. Now we're just gonna let that simmer without the lid at a low fire, and in the meantime we can go grate our cheese. So let's start making our cheese tacos by grating our cheese. Now I've got cheddar cheese today because I find that this is the best in terms of melting and getting that right crispiness. I've tried with mozzarella, parmesan, but they don't give me the right texture that I want. So I use cheddar, either mild, aged, whatever you prefer. Just gonna grate this finely. Okay, so the story goes, I was making this recipe last year, and while the cheese was melting in the pan, I just nipped out of my house for one hot second. Well, the wind was blowing so strongly, so it actually slammed my gate shut, and it's one of those self-locking ones. So I ran over to my neighbor's house, freaking out, and I asked to borrow his phone, called the locksmith, called the fire brigade. But a minute later, while waiting for them, my neighbor actually popped out, and he said, "Do you want me to break open your gate for you?" Which he actually managed to. So I ran in, turned off the fire, and I called back the fire brigade, and I said, "Hey guys, you know what, everything is fine, it's cool, you don't need to come." But the lady on the phone said, "No, it's standard procedure, and we still have to come over to ensure that you're safe." So anyway, before I start another fire, let's just check up on the meat. Okay, so the meat filling is done. I'm just gonna turn off the fire and move it aside, and we're gonna start on these infamous cheese tacos. So I'm just gonna heat up my pan on about low to medium heat. And I'm gonna make mini tacos today. You can make them any size you want, but I'm gonna keep them small and nifty. So I'll be putting a little mound of it here. And we're just gonna wait for it to melt. So the cheese will start to melt, it will start to bubble. It should take you about 4 to 5 minutes till it's done. And it is normal if you see oil released out of the cheese. It is natural, but you can dab that out with some paper towel tool if you like. So it's at this point that I left my house, got locked out, looked in, saw all that smoke, freaked out. So never take your eyes off your cheese tacos, guys. So anyway, back to the story. I was standing out in my corridor and I saw the 12 firefighters and policemen running to my house. And I was out there going, no, it's okay, I'm fine, I'm safe, the fire's out. And they came in, and I remember the first thing they said was, "Your house is fine, what?" And I brought them to the stove, and the first question was, "Is it your first time cooking?" And I said, "No," and I told them the whole story. And basically, one of them had to report back to the headquarters. He said over his walkie-talkie, "Victim is unharmed, but we've got one burnt taco." So yes, it does exist. I do have a record in Singapore that says I've burnt a taco. So anyway, this looks like it's just about done. So what we want to do is lift it off the pan. Now what I have here is a system set up, super simple. I've got 2 cups here, and I just took a rod of my spatula and I've wrapped it in aluminum foil with a plate underneath, and that's gonna be our taco shaping station. And there you go. So if you've been following the recipe, your taco should look something like this. So now we're ready to fill our tacos up. Got a nice meat filling here. And we're making it bite-sized so you can serve this at your next party, as an appetizer, as a finger food. I'm gonna stuff it well. Look at that. Now there's no such thing as too much filling, so stuff these babies up. I'm just gonna top this up with some freshly chopped tomatoes, and then we finish it with some coriander. And finally, I prepared some Cajun yogurt earlier, and this is gonna be the best thing to top it off with. And there you go. If you yourself have any crazy kitchen stories to share, do comment down below. Try this at home. These are my Firefighter cheese tacos, and may the food be with you. Try this recipe at home, snap a picture, and tag me at TheCharlotteMei on Instagram. Leave a comment down below to tell me what you'd like to see next, and don't forget to click subscribe. Let's just make a cheese taco. Let's make a taco shell out of cheese. Okay, sorry, gotta do that again. I splattered. Towel? Towel? Hey!